Welcome back to Just Guna Vibes. I'm here with my boy
Steph, big Steph.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's always a pleasure. Good vibes, always good vibes. We seen him on the platform before. You have a beautiful backdrop here in New York City. First and foremost, man, how you living, bro?
Bro, been good. I mean, look at where we're at right now.
Jet skis in the
Summer,
back.
New York City, Arsenal. Well, that's debatable how people feel about that, but we're here, man. Living good, feeling good. Great to be here, man.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. The World Cup is right in our backyard. The Club World Cup is right in our backyard. Unfortunately, Arsenal is not going playing that day in Asia somewhere. All good. But now that we're in the off season, let's reflect on the past season. Just walk us through your thoughts on that season. And you can hear the train in the background. Sorry for that. We in New York City.
Well, honestly, this season, it's been a difficult season. When you go into a season and you want to win major trophies,
100%.
You want to win the Premier League, you want to win the Champions League, and ultimately you don't achieve those things. When you look back on the season, you're ultimately going to feel like it's a failure.
Yeah.
For me, though, I think there's positives and negatives to take from this season. Negatives, like first of all, started saying we should have done business in both windows and getting a striker. Forwards, at least. The bench from August was poor. 3 left backs on the bench for majority of the season, not good enough, especially when I got to the Champions League semi-final, which I think we had a good chance of going all the way, if I'm being completely honest. We had moments against PSG, and then when I was talking to one of my friends that also supports Arsenal, I told him if we were to get in a shootout with PSG, get in a shootout with Barcelona, and they scored 2 or 3 goals on us, do we have enough firepower to go again and score 2 or 3 goals? And I don't think we do. So I hope that's something we need to address in this next season. But overall, positive to take. Louis Skelly, Waneri came through. Second again, even though we had the most injuries in the league, so good thing we didn't tank and fall off like Manchester United. But yeah, the positives and negatives to take. Ultimately, though, a disappointing season when you don't lift silverware, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. Likewise, very disappointing season for me. But we did, like you said, found those hidden gems. Ethan and Waneri, MLS. Just talk about your player performances. Who was the standout players for you?
Standout players of the season. Well, going into the season, I said David Raya was going to be the unsung hero. David Raya, for me, slept on this season. Brilliant. I think I'll put my hands up and say the best goalkeeper in the world for me. I genuinely think he's the best goalkeeper
I'm right
in the world.
there with you, man.
Shot stopping, playing on the ball ability, his save catalog, penalty saves. He's done it all this season and been a true leader. Back-to-back Golden Gloves. For me, arguably 100%. One of our best players of the season. If you're looking outside of that, Bukayo Saka when he was fit, outrageous. But I give credits to Big Gabby, man. Big Gabby this season stepped up as the best defender 100%. In the world for me. So I give those credits. David Raya, Saka, and shout out Big Gabby, man. Great to see you sign the ting, bro. Great to see that you signed the ting.
Yeah,
what
man.
About you? What about Declan?
What about Declan, bro?
No, Declan.
He's bugging.
I love some space, but no, for me, I have been saying Declan Rice is my player of the season. I feel like everyone talks about Declan Rice.
Fair enough.
I can wax lyrical about 100 million pounds. We don't even talk about that.
Fair enough.
Look at the goals against Real Madrid, but other than that, the goal against Manchester United, the Newcastle goal, the assists, the corners all season long. For me, since he's been at Arsenal, he was always a good player, but I think he's taken his level now to a world-class level. He's proven it on the biggest stage. Even against PSG, every single game he was playing, he was one of the best players on the pitch. I think you have to put him in certain conversations now, but what about you? Who are some of your stand-up players?
Me, definitely Declan Rice, 100%. Hands down. Prior, I said it many times, I wasn't a big fan of him coming in with that price tag, and he's 100% proved me wrong, proved a bunch of fans wrong. And you can just see he has the passion when he's on that pitch. You know, he got that passion, and he definitely showing captain-like quality. So definitely for him, player of the match, player of the season for me. Obviously, you mentioned our goalie, David Raya. Amazing. And Big Gabby, of course. Unfortunately, he had to go down with that injury that took him out, but it is what it is, you know, it is what it is. Just switching gears though, obviously Liverpool won the Premier League title. They were in a different lane. They were definitely, compared to other teams, different lanes. What do you think was different in their gameplay?
One thing about Liverpool I must say is First of all, what they had better than us this season was depth.
Yeah.
I think the attacking players they could bring on when we couldn't showed the level of where we were at and where they were at. And that's why they scored so many goals than us.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we're a bad team. I think if we add a few pieces, I think we're a good team.
Fair enough. Yeah, 100%.
I think also the second thing is I'm still Arteta in. However, the style of play has to get looked at this season. Too many games where this season where you knew we were going to draw before we even kicked off.
Yeah.
Or you knew we were going to draw like 10 minutes into the game.
You had that in your mind. You're like,
it's how we start. It's like we didn't play a lot of games this season with the intensity we played with. I remember the Sheffield United game in 23-24. 5-0 up in the first half. We were blitzing teams. We did it to West Ham even this season. So we did it bits and pieces this season, but it wasn't consistent enough to show me that we're trending in the right direction with the style of play. So that's something I think Liverpool had better than us. They were better on the front foot, had more attacking play. And I think when you look at PSG, Barcelona, Liverpool, these are the teams now that play in this attacking football, and that's why they're doing so well in their leagues and well in Europe. So I think Arteta must look at that if we're going to adjust something in this season.
Yeah, speaking of Arteta, manager to manager compared to Liverpool's manager, how do you think they compare? Because I feel like his first year, what's his name? Arne Slot. He did amazing. He had the locker room essentially. The players played for him. Just talk about his playing style.
Yeah, I give Arne Slot a lot of credit. But one thing when I'll compare, if you talk about manager to manager, everyone says, I've heard even had discussions yesterday saying he's a better manager than Arteta, which people can have their arguments, people can say trophies, whatever. But if you ask me, he inherited a really good team. That Liverpool team could have won the Premier League in the season prior, but they bottled it.
Fair enough.
People don't want to put it on them, but they bottled it. They led the league for most of the season.
Fair enough.
This season, yes, credit to them. A new voice came in, Arne Slot, and I think players like Salah, who was playing for a contract, Virgil van Dijk was playing on a contract, Trent Alexander-Arnold was playing his last season at Liverpool. Other guys were playing with the intention that, okay, this might be my last season, let me go with the bang. So I give those boys credit because they had to be there when City fell off to win it. Arsenal were not. So credit to Arne Slot, but I wouldn't say he's a better manager just yet than Arteta. Arteta, for me, has taken a squad when he came in that was in the pits of hell for Arsenal fans at the time. We went through a little tough periods, but we're in a position now where we're in the Champions League semi-finals and expecting to win. We're going for a Premier League in April, May, and expecting to lift it at the end of the season. I think we're in a good position. It's just about adding that little bit more just to become the best team in the league, and hopefully the best team in Europe one day.
I'm right there with you.
What about you, though? Are you Arteta in, or how was your?
I'm trusting the process. I've been trusting the process, but obviously it's frustrating at times. You've been there seasons after season. Super frustrating. Some of his calls, obviously in the last game in the Champions League, we were down, and then in the 67th and 70th minute, we put on left backs and midfields when we should have went for it. We already losing, might as well go out for it. But some of his tactics don't really agree with it, and obviously his coaching staff. I think one of his coaching staff is leaving.
Carlos Coretta?
Yes, something like that. But yeah, he's leaving, so he also has to bring in a new person within the team and just figure out their style, and that's going to also be a new challenge for him as well. So I'm curious to see what the next season looks like with this new sporting director and new incomings with the coaches and players as well. But I'm definitely Arteta in. Am I frustrated at times? 100%. Who isn't frustrated with their manager? But I'm trusting the process, and I do think next season we're gonna have something special to talk about.
I do want to ask you a question though. I know we talked about all of us. We talked about ourselves. We reflected on ourselves first.
Yeah.
But for me, Premier League has had some of the worst refereeing decisions I've seen anywhere in European football this season. What are your thoughts about some of the shocking decisions we've seen? The Lewis Skelly red card, that wasn't a red card, that got rescinded. We've seen some, Gabriel Jesus at the start of the season got stamped, got grabbed on his ass basically.
Yeah,
by 100%. The Declan Rice red card. We could talk about so many different decisions. What was your thoughts, opinions on that, and how did that affect our season to you?
No, 100%. Yeah. You've been in the bars. You've been in the different bars. Once the referee does something bad, you hear the shouts, you hear the commotion in the bars. In my opinion, 100%. Some of the ref calls are wow. Like, what would you do? I definitely, the Mazua Skelly one was wild to me. Like, Michael Oliver, he always wants to be the center of attention. I think that's the thing with a lot of referees in the Premier League. They want to be the main character, and obviously the headlines are surrounding them as well. So if they make a little call or a little issue, it's going to be talk of the next week going into the next game. So I do think it's a little bit of that that takes away from the game at hand. A little bit of like obviously referee character in position to the game, which is unfortunate. But some of the calls 100% are unfortunate, but we say VAR would help to alleviate those situations, and then
haven't really.
They really haven't.
It really
just
made the game more complicated than it really should be. Offside decisions that are barely even offside are getting called now. Like, what advantage do you have on that? Like, but how do you think that affected our season? Do you think that was like a bigger factor? Like, to anything? Do you think that really changed anything? Would we still finish second, or what are your thoughts?
I think the difference with the offside, I think, is the offsides, I think it's definitely needed. I think VAR is absolutely important because we've seen a lot of goals in the past. Like, if they had VAR, a lot of these people would, points would have been dropped, teams would have been relegated. So I do think VAR is very important in terms of like offsides and goal. When it comes to like challenges and red card offensive, that's where I think it's more like it's back to the opinion base. Yeah. Because the VAR would be like to the ref, go check it out on the screen.
But in the ref, and then the ref, he watched the game. He's watching live. Yeah.
It's still his opinion on the context of the camera because he didn't call it. Yeah. And if he did, he would have. They told him to get a second eyes again. So it's all a bit of.
It's a show. I'm not gonna lie. To me, it has made it more. I don't want to cry down the game, but more WWE-like in a sense that it's all about the cinematics now. It's all about narratives, and it just lost some of its luster to me, slightly. And I think it's really down to some of the refereeing decisions and some of the why is there a ref watch in England? Why are people? They've made this whole thing where the referees are brought on to defend their buddies. It seems that it's all pandering to this.
I get it, but I also don't get it at the same time. But
no, and I hear both perspectives. I'm just being a little bit cynical about it because obviously when it doesn't go in your favor, you feel aggrieved by it. Obviously.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's literally where I'm at. But to give them credit, it's in the early stages, and there's still a lot of development with anything. There's learning, and so hopefully they learn from this season and implement to the next season. And we saw a couple of I guess they have to do their referee research and background and history of like a fish, what they do in their off time as well, because we've seen a lot of referees, what they do and say in their off time could definitely affect which way they sway the game.
Absolutely.
100%. Moving on, man. Now that we're in the off season, let's talk about transfers. Now it's the time for transfers. Now it's everyone's putting their name in. Put my name in the bid. What are your thoughts on the transfers and the names that we have circulating?
Well, I touched on a few positions we're gonna need. Obviously, striker. The names right now in the rumor mill are Sesko and Gyökeres.
Yeah.
Everyone I think around the world that's an Arsenal fan would love Alexander Isak. I think that's everyone's dream.
Dexter's laboratory dream right there.
Literally. I mean, Liverpool by reports are in for him. I don't know how true that is. I think that's just a smoke screen. I don't know if Arsenal have 150 million to pay for him. I mean, if they need a donation,
that might be the only income in it.
If they need a donation, give you some money by him, man. Listen. I think we're probably going to end up with Sesko. I do think Sesko is a really good player. Talented, he's tall, strong, can dribble, can shoot outside the box, has a lot of individual quality that I like to see coming into Arsenal in that final third. People are talking about he might be too raw. I can see that.
But that can be trained.
But yes, that can be trained as well. And we've seen Mikel Arteta develop players into becoming some of the best players in the world right now. I mean, look at Declan Rice, he was a good player, but he's taken up a level. Saka moved from a left back into being one of the best right wingers in world football. We've even seen other players converted into certain positions. Ben White came in as a centre back, and before his injury was one of the best right backs in the league. Yeah. So I think Mikel Arteta has the ability to train players, get players better. We saw Moreno score goals as a striker for us. We saw Havertz score goals as a striker. So I think Sesko will come in and score goals. Absolutely. Another rumor I want to see that I've been talked about so much is Rodrigo. We know that Nico Williams is going to Barcelona, almost confirmed. Reports are saying that he's not happy at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I would love Rodrigo at Arsenal. How true that is, I don't know. But I would love us to get a left winger. I would love us to get a striker. Partey might be leaving as well, so we're definitely gonna have to fill the gap there with the extra body. And then from there is add cover where you need to, because my biggest thing last season is instead of outgoings, I think we need to add more bodies. I just don't think we had enough players at certain times last season. We're accounting for injuries, accounting for so many. I think that's why Liverpool got in the league ultimately. They just, when you play Champions League, Premier League, when you play Carabao Cup, FA Cup, 3 games a week, it's like it gets to a point in the season, January time, where you're gonna have to look at your bench and trust your bench. And if you're relying on 3-4 fullbacks, you're only gonna get so much in certain games. So I think my thing is just to add to the quality that we need in the squad.
100%. I'm right there with you. That last quote that you said, amazing. It speaks to what I've been preaching countless of times. We know each season, God forbid, it's going to be 3 to 4 injuries that's going to take players out. It happened last season. We didn't address it. It happened this season. We didn't really address it. More than likely, Lightning's gonna probably happen the next season.
That's football.
Will we address it? Probably not. We're gonna get like 2 major income mids and then fill the void with what we have because of the chemistry and not bring. That might be the barrier around it.
I think that's the only thing that hurts me for Mikel Arteta, because I think the game is going in a way where, look, the season just ended and people are already playing Nations League and then Club World Cup, and then another week's break they're going to be back playing again.
Yep.
There's not enough time for these players to rest. I think you have to have a deep bench in modern football nowadays. I think you absolutely have to have a deep bench in modern football nowadays. And if you don't have one, then you're going to end up with injuries season on season like we did last season. Hopefully not. Hopefully we do address certain areas we need to, but yeah, man, I just think we need a deep bench.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Zubamendi? I think he's pretty much in.
Yeah, that's one deal I forgot. I've been raving heavy about Zubamendi. I think he's the Jorginho we should have gotten a few years earlier. When I watch Zubamendi play, I think that's good for a lot of wing players, and I think it might be especially good for Martinelli.
Yeah.
I think Zubamendi coming into the squad, I watched him play for the Nations League, how he used to get Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal, get the ball to them early.
Yeah.
I just envision it all the time to watch a player like Martinelli getting the ball early with so much space down the wing. Maybe where players are tired, he gets slipped through. Zubamendi's also good at carrying the ball forward, driving the ball forward with those passes. So I think he's going to be a really good signing for Arsenal, but I think it's going to help Martinelli a lot as a player. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, 100%. I totally agree. I was watching him in the Nations League as well when he looked really good, and I think all Arsenal fans was probably watching that and thinking like, oh, what? That's the Emirates right there, and he just picture him with the jersey on. That's what I was thinking about, and he looked amazing. And I think he's a good. If God forbid if Partey moves on, I think he would be a good replacement just to fill that void. And like you said, he's the Jorginho that we should have gotten.
Years early, yeah.
100%.
And I'm sad. I don't want to see Partey go. That's probably,
same.
That's probably one of the big things I've been saying all summer. I knew we were going to lose Jorginho for months now.
Yeah.
It's sad that we're going to have to potentially lose Partey too, just because that's probably the most important position for Arteta.
Yeah.
And two, that's experience leaving the club, a player who's played at the highest level for a very long time now. So
100%.
Losing a player like that is going to be difficult for us next season. So I just hope we fill the void with competent backup.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree because, like you said, I don't want to see Partey leave because he definitely had some great comeback moments for us last season. From out of the box bangers. If he trains and practice and keeps on doing that, I think one touch, bang.
He's going good at it.
When he
first came in, the first season he was here, he was just shanking them in rows.
Yeah, he just bomb.
Then this season he scored really some good goals with it. He's taking
some memorable goals, and I do think he's impactful. His right back, I don't know what Arteta's doing with putting him in left back and right back and trying to figure it out. I don't know what's good with that. He's you could see, the only thing with his legs is you could see he's a bit slow, he's a little slow. Other than that,
he's getting older. That's uncle now.
That's uncle.
Still quality.
Still quality.
But you need those types of players. I respect him. I respect him even in the moment of injuries, because Ben White was injured. We had Timber coming off for ACL this season. So there were moments where he had to go play right back, and I don't like seeing him play there. I think it's not his best position, and it kind of weakens us. And it weakened us in a lot of games, especially going forward as an outlet.
Yeah.
But credit to Partey, man. He was a good servant for the club, even if it is his last season. And glad that we had a full season injury-free to see how good he really was for the Arsenal.
I 100% agree with you. 100%. I always say this, you know, each season, each transfer window, we come in with a Chelsea transfer. Either coming in or going out. Who's your Chelsea player that you think gonna come in this season?
Well, we already have Kepa.
Oh, shit, Kepa.
We already have Kepa. So, I mean, every season we do have a Chelsea player coming in, so that's already one. Hopefully, no more Chelsea players. I've seen Noni Madueke linked. I don't like.
You know we're gonna get one. It's just, like we always got like 2 or 3 each season. Like,
I hope
Sterling was a flop.
I hope it's just Kepa. Let's just end the season. Let's just end no more. That's another thing I don't like about our transfer policies. I know it's a good opportunity. See, you get these players on a cheaper deal, but I'm tired of taking the Premier League players and taking on the burden that we've already seen them have from the other clubs.
Check, yeah.
Just go somewhere else. Pick somebody else that is a fresh start. So if they get criticism, we can criticize them and see it fresh. Players like Havertz, when he came in, already had a baggage, so it took fans a long time to get. People still are not even behind Havertz.
Yeah.
It's going to Sterling. People never got behind Sterling. I don't know why we keep going. That's again. I'll say this: if we end up with a Marcus Rashford, I'm not taking that either. I mean, he's a quality player. He can be good. He has the abilities to be good, but do we want to take on that baggage of Man United and the entourage? No, get fresh players, get a fresh start, get something where Arsenal fans can look at it with a blank page and make their assessments based on that.
Gotcha. No, 100%. I totally agree. Do you feed into all the rumors now, or you get closer, like 2 weeks out of the transfer window before it closes, to actually really look at who's the income is and who's really valid? Because I feel like during this time, a lot of agents, a lot of players will put their name in just to feed it to the press, just to hype their player or hype their name up to get more transfer value when that transfer season comes. And also, do you think like the FIFA World Cup, all these different golf Gold Cup, all these different off-season tournaments that's happening, play a factor in someone we pick up? You know, it can be some hidden gems that in River Plate, or there's some really good players that play in the FIFA World Cup or Club World Cup right now. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, that's an interesting question. First of all, to answer the first question, I do think I don't listen to the rumors per se. I listen to some rumors. Obviously, we're in the content creation world. Obviously, some rumors come through. You're not gonna pick up on everyone, but you make your decisions, you make your analysis, and you kind of make your own dream signings that you would want to see come through the door. And that's how rumors are also built off. So, like when people say we're linked with Rashford, I kind of take that with a pinch of salt. People say we're linked with Madueke, I also take that with a pinch of salt.
Fair enough.
But like when you hear rumors about Asesco or Gokares, you kind of take that with more salt with the bigger guys talking about it. So I think it depends on who's talking about it, the transfer really. But in terms of the Gold Cup and Club World Cup and all these other off-season tournaments, I think Arsenal should be looking at players like that. And I think that's why we have a player like sporting director like Berta, and he just brought in somebody from recruiting at Juventus. That's why we have you guys. Go and recruit, go watch these games so that we can buy a player. Because not obviously, we all want the best players in the world. But no club wants to go and spend 100 million on a player every single time. You can't really do that. Sometimes you want to go spend 5 million and then have a 100 million pound player for 5 million. That's 100%. Exactly what every football club would want. So hopefully, watching these tournaments, I can't really say there's been like standout players that already aren't going to bigger clubs.
Yeah.
But for me, there's always going to be gems as this tournament goes on. It's still early in the tournament, so we just have to wait and see how these games progress, and hopefully Arsenal snag a really good, competent gem out of it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I do think there's some gems, some hidden gems, especially in the FIFA Club World Cup and other places that we could find for undervalued. Like for we don't have to break the bank essentially to get some players that could show their true quality, and we really want to shine on a big stage as Arsenal. Speaking of big stages, who do you think is the big six for next season?
As in who I think is going to finish top six?
Yeah.
In no order, Arsenal, Liverpool, and City, I think, are the clear three that you have to put there.
Yeah.
Depending on how the transfer window unfolds, Chelsea, they also added some quality. I still think Chelsea are going to be there in the boat again next season. They had a really good season. They're progressing under Enzo Maresca. And it's really a toss-up because the Premier League, this Premier League season has shown anybody can be anybody. Other than the 3 relegated teams, anybody could be anybody, and the league is so difficult now. So it really depends on who strengthens the most. I think Villa is also a contender. Newcastle definitely we have to put there with Isak. I hope if they add more quality players, they're going to definitely be up there for a top 5 position. I don't think Man United and Tottenham are going to be that good again this season. I think Tottenham with Thomas Frank, they might improve. Top 6, I'm not sure. I don't think that squad is good enough. I just don't believe in that squad. United maybe, but again, I don't believe in what they have going on either. They have too much backroom problems to even get it right on the pitch.
Yeah.
I think it's really going to be a battle between the Villas, the Newcastles. Chelsea is going to hold a position in there. And yeah, I think that's going to be a solidified top 6. You're going to be looking at those same teams again.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I agree with the top 3. Like you said, no order: Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea. Definitely going to be, I think, somewhere around there. I think I don't want to say it, but I think Tottenham, Spurs might be in there just because they're coming off of the trophy season, and Daniel Levy, his cheeks is on the line per se, because a lot of people are,
honestly, yeah, they were on his head. The trophy might buy him some time, might buy him a little bit.
And they got a new coach too, Thomas Frank, possibly I think from Brentford. So he's a really good coach, and I think I don't like to say it, but I think that team suits him.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he could definitely get some points and do some good that season. So I think they might be in top, and I would leave it up to Newcastle, and I'm gonna throw a little fish hook in there. I'm gonna throw Everton.
Oh,
Everton, new stadium, new luck. I don't know.
David Moyes is staying, I think, so that might be, it might come on to fruition for Everton. They ended the season really good last season.
Yeah.
They went from, I think, like 16th all the way. They finished pretty comfortable in the mid-table. They had a good back half of the season under Moyes, so that's a good show. Everton has been out of the top half of this table for a very long time, so it'd be nice to see them perform again at the top level.
I think they're gonna bring in some good players. I think they have the back end, the money. Obviously, they got that new stadium, new vibe. So I think it's a reset, and that might boost them into getting some kind of booster for next season. Or it could be totally the opposite, right? They got ran through.
And seeing these other teams like City and Liverpool, are you worried for Arsenal's title hopes next season?
Yes, because a lot of these teams already started playing. Like their season already pretty much started.
Yeah.
Man City season already started. Chelsea season already started. They're already playing in the Club World Cup and at an elite level because they play hard and it's hot. And then players are going at it. It's like red cards, 2 red cards every game. I've been watching. So yeah, in terms of like getting their mindset and like gears and the chemistry together with the team, I think we haven't really gotten that far yet. I think a lot of the players are on break and just resting, and then once they get to preseason, then they'll kick off. But I don't think the competition for preseason when they go in Asia will be the same as a Club World Cup and what the others are doing here in the U.S. with the Premier League summers as well coming over with what is that, Man United as well. So
over here, West Ham.
So that's going to be interesting as well. So I don't know. I don't think. Well, it's probably needed because they had a long season, and a lot of players had to step up and play positions and kind of fill the void.
It's up to Arteta and his staff, though. Well, this is going to be a good test. So
yeah,
we normally have pretty good, decent pre-seasons. In this last couple of seasons, we do go on tour. We do pretty well. We win some games. We win the Emirates Cup all the time.
Fair,
so hopefully he ramps it up to a saying of people getting injured, but ramps it up and that we get the intensity that we need. So opening game, we can hit the ground running because that's a difficult Premier League start. That Premier League start, we have United away first game, Liverpool away the third game, you have City at home, Newcastle away.
Oh yeah, the pictures are out, yeah.
Yeah, we have some difficult games to start the season, and people are asking me maybe losing 1 or 2 games. For me, just get through that period, hopefully undefeated, no injuries, and then manage the season from there, because that start is going to be difficult. You don't want to fall behind Liverpool and Man City that early in the season at all.
Yeah, you said it, man. The first couple of games are so crucial. Any competitors, it could be the bottom to the top, just getting those 3 points and having a good mindset to the start of the game, I think it's very beneficial. And like you said, hopefully in Asia, they figure out and they have a little bit of competitiveness and no injuries, God forbid. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how our preseason will look.
Get those players in for preseason, man. We need the players here for preseason. That's where we're really gonna need to see the chemistry of the team, because guys that played here last season they're gonna kind of get back into it.
Fair enough.
But adding a striker, adding the left winger, adding Zubamendi, adding a midfielder, get them in before preseason so we can get that chemistry. Because that start, we have to start fast. Absolutely.
Nice, yeah, 100%. We winding down to the end of it, but before I let you go, just tell me 2 hot takes for next season.
Arsenal will cruise to a Premier League title. Bukayo Saka will get. Oh, I don't know if I want to say this just yet. I was gonna say we might break the assist record, but I think Bukayo Saka might be top scorer. Do I want to say that either?
Top scorer?
Sesko is gonna be the top scorer for Arsenal.
For Arsenal,
and the
hopefully.
top 3 scorers of the Premier League.
6 or 7 in the process.
It's going. We trusting it.
It's going.
We trusting it.
Sesko is gonna be the top scorer of the Premier.
Nah, that's a good take. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't like you, Sesko. Come on, do me right.
What if we get Gurkhardt?
Gokras is gonna be the top scorer of the Premier. I don't care. I don't have a preference over. I know there's been a big debate online of Sesko or Gokras. If you were to ask me, I think Sesko is a better footballer.
Yeah.
But which one do I think I want at Arsenal? I take Sesko, I guess. But if you get Gokras, we got Gokras.
Yeah, I'm
fine either way. Fine either way. Just get me the players.
Striker, yeah.
If I've seen Moreno score goals up there. I've seen Havertz score goals up there. Whoever has played up there scores goals. One of those two go into that team. We add quality on the left wing. Whoever sits up there is going to score 20 Premier League goals.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Whoever we get.
And lastly, what are your thoughts on Odegaard, our captain? A lot of people said last season was a bit rough in terms of like his contribution in doing these tough games. He kind of goes a little hidden doing these major games. What are your thoughts on his game plan? Do you think?
I think next season, the entrance of Zubamendi, I think Zubamendi is gonna make a lot of players around him better, and I'm hoping he's gonna make a lot of the players around him better. Odegaard's biggest issue for me last season was he kept dropping so short for the ball that he would come 5 yards next to Partey to get it. He would dribble the ball right up to Saka. Saka had no space to be dynamic and maneuver. Hopefully with Zubamendi coming in, he can stay in the pockets of space, receive the ball, turn, and that allows him to get more assists for our striker, get Saka on the end of more problems, and I think he could be more dangerous. So, bad season for sure. People are talking about taking the captain's armband off of him. I'm staying by Odegaard. I think he's a good player. I think he's a quality player. And hopefully the introduction of Zubamendi, introduction of a few quality players in the front of him that make runs through Odegaard to get assists, I think Odegaard is going to have a comeback season.
100%. I'm totally right there with you. I totally agree. Just before I let you go, any final thoughts you want people to know?
Go to my channel, Gunner Street. I have all Arsenal content. If you want to check out more of me, I post there almost daily. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
Be right below.
For Just Gunner Vibes and for Gunner Street. Thank you for all your love and support, people. Thank you so much.
All right, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and we'll see you in a bit.
Peace.